Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage. We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
All right, welcome to another week of Manifestations 2020. This is going to be a hot fire show tonight. We're doing the recap of the presidential election. Just to talk about things. This is the time period we want the fam to jump in and get anything that they want to get off their chest. Feel free. Let us know in the comments section. We will shoot you the link. Matter of fact, I think I should just leave the link in the comment section. Would that be the wise thing to do?
Going forward. Because I want
let's
somebody.
see.
I wish a motherfucker would today. Yeah. I want the smoke. I want all the smoke. Bring your bitch ass in the room. But no, we love y'all. But I'm just saying, just come on in the room and let's have a discussion.
My man may just say he's joining me as part of the chimney.
Just come on in the room. Let's have a discussion.
I love it.
I love the smoking section. Bring your ass in the room. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Ant.
Yeah,
a lot of character.
Y'all pretty much said it. I ain't gotta say it. Y'all pretty much said it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. If everybody,
I want all the smoke.
If y'all want to come up here and say what you got to say, and it's really not just smoke. You know, if you got something valid that you want to say, come on stage as well. You know, it don't got to be about smoke.
It ain't gotta be about smoke.
know?
True. That's true. I mean, but you know, I'm responding to smoke. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm responding because all week it's just been smoking, bitching, and moaning and whining, and good Lord, man, shut up and let's have a real discussion about some damn solutions. Because the problem I have, I'm gonna just go ahead and start some shit. I'm gonna just go ahead and start some shit. Put it out there. The problem I have is this indefinite whining. That's the problem I have. This indefinite whining and this lack of accountability where nobody wants to accept responsibility for what just went down. You just got your asshole kicked in and you still out here talking shit. You haven't learned anything. That's where I'm at with it. It's like, dude, they're still out here demonizing everybody that disagrees with them. And I got a problem with that. You understand? So yes, it doesn't have to be smoke. I encourage anybody and everybody that has something constructive to say to come into the fold. But for those of you that don't know how to get out of your emotions and focus on solutions, let me holler at you for a minute. Because the problem with you is that you are the reason that you lost. That's the problem with y'all. You know, listen, I used to be a Democrat. I'm an independent now. A lot of my beliefs lean to the left. I voted for Jill Stein. Jill Stein is left of Kamala Harris on a lot of issues. The difference in Jill Stein and Kamala Harris is Kamala Harris is a politician. She is a product. She is a styrofoam idea of what a politician is supposed to be. You understand what I'm saying? Jill Stein is the real deal. She's a true progressive and she has some really good ideas, like ending private prisons. I'm conservative in a lot of my views, but ending private prisons is some shit I would vote for. Like reparations. That's another idea of Jill Stein's. That's something I will vote for. You understand what I'm saying? She has these types of ideas that are really about pushing a real progressive agenda. Of course, reparations was the main prize. That's the main reason that I voted for her, even though I disagree with her on the border. You understand what I'm saying? I disagree with her on the border, and she also has some radical LGBT stuff in there too. But the other things, the reparations, I knew that she wasn't going to win, so there was no real danger in voting for her. But that is a vote for me that sends a message. You understand? I could have voted for Kamala Harris. I didn't. A lot of people could have voted for Kamala Harris. They didn't. Fonnie Willis won. Kamala Harris didn't. You understand yet? Those people in Atlanta voted for a woman. So for you people who are out there still talking this nonsense about how it must have been, because you was a woman. No! There are people who voted for other women. It was her. What is so hard to understand about that? You know, and this is the problem within the liberal mind. You know, you listen to CNN and MSNBC all day to people who have no idea what they're talking about. And then on election day, You ready to jump out the damn window. These people are online having meltdowns. There was some fool that killed himself and some other people in his family because he was afraid of a Trump presidency. I just read that article. Y'all got to get it together, bro. I'm just saying.
I'm glad you said that because I had this
ridiculousness.
LGBTQ and suicide hotlines see an uptick in calls following the historic Donald Trump victory. It's real sad that a lot of people out here are very emotional behind the winning of Donald Trump. And I think a lot of times, you know, what it is there has to be a deep-seated consciousness that goes out to everybody out there, because what people don't realize, and I hate, and I'm talking to my black people, I hate when y'all wear shirts or y'all make posts that say, I'm not like my ancestors, as insinuating that you're better than your ancestors, when in actuality, you're not better than your ancestors. Your ancestors was on code. Your ancestors took whoopings and went to jail for to move the culture forward. A lot of y'all ain't doing that shit. I haven't seen anybody strong as Dr. King. As much people as they want to talk shit about Dr. King did something that a lot of niggas ain't courageous enough to do.
Facts.
And that was sacrificing himself, leaving behind his wife and 4 children just to push his culture and race forward. Y'all niggas not on that. Soon as a motherfucking racist say something to y'all, y'all cowering down. Y'all like, oh, well, you know, and you out here soft shooing, like, no, it's really not that serious. Let's be friends. You guys are not on the same level as your ancestors. Trust me. So stop disrespecting your ancestors by wearing those shirts and talking that talk, because your actions, for the most part, do not line up with anything close to your ancestors.
Facts.
And that's facts, right? And a lot of y'all don't understand that, because when we sit back and talk about, y'all talk about the books being erased out of the school. Fuck them books in them school. The school ain't doing shit for your child but programming your child to be a modern day slave, a programmed human robot. So I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. The books in the schools are getting banned. The shit that you can learn, that your children can learn, that is more powerful than anything they'll ever teach in the school, is the shit at your house. A lot of these people that's out here that's mentors are teaching your children way more than your fucking school has ever taught your child. That's why we talk about having great mentors around you, non-indoctrinated people, because indoctrinated people that have all these degrees, all they like to do is funnel their children in indoctrinated schools. So you just graduating on indoctrinate levels. When you come in the real world, you is plumb dumb, as some of your ancestors say. You might not be some dumb, but you damn sure plumb dumb. And a lot of y'all don't understand how critical that is, because a lot of the children that's out here aren't even functioning in their right mentality, because the indoctrination way tells them that if they don't line up into this direction of success, then they're a failure. When they have the means and the knowledge from their ancestors, and they're eating the right way, they have uncode the right way, they have a village mentality the right way, then you start seeing the success ain't about materialistic, ain't about capitalism. It's about the mindset that you have, that nobody can destroy it. You know who you are. So the confidence comes in and it exudes around people, that makes it infectious for them to operate in the same mindset as you guys. That's why in the 1920s, when they had that influx of infectiousness of the mentality on the right way, we built the fucking Black Wall Street. And we didn't build one. We had Black Wall Streets all over that had successful Black people running businesses and didn't give a fuck about Jim Crow and the white people in it. Matter of fact, they said, fuck you, we got our own shit, our own schools, our own banks, our own hospitals, our own buildings, our own institutions, our own jobs, and we have the mindset to be around each other to practice group economics until this day. Not the Jewish, not the whites, not the Arabs, not the Asians. None of them had a stronger black financially, a community that can ever top the Black Wall Street in the 1920s. You're talking about over 104 years ago, and no community has a community block that financially has gained more money than the Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
And that's facts. Because see, I like to talk facts. I don't like to sit here and talk about opinions. Because a lot of y'all like to talk about opinions and get emotional because you don't have no facts. You don't have no history. You have no insight of the back part of it to know how to move forward in the correct way. That's why you have people like us and other folks out here that's part of the minority and not the majority that are out here not fazed by Donald Trump. Because today, like I told y'all before, today is Trump, tomorrow is J.D. Vance, tomorrow might be the next day after that might be DeSantis, and all these other up and coming, quote unquote, boogeyman that's gonna scare y'all to stay on the plantation. We survived Lyndon B. Johnson. A lot of our warriors out there were surviving Lyndon B. Johnson because remember, in the 1970s, black people were whooping ass. Don't forget the Detroit riots. Black people was kicking ass. We ain't give a fuck about no racists. You get your foot in your ass.
It is.
But today, y'all don't have that energy. You don't have that energy for these people. You ain't putting no foot in nobody's ass. You cowering down and you end up relying on sides with people until they kick you in your ass and now you back on this side. This is what y'all doing right here. When y'all hang around with white folks and then y'all sit back and y'all get y'all ass kicked, this is what y'all do. Y'all run back to the black community like this. So they running you out the white community. You get back on the black side, and now you want to turn and bark back with us and the people that you sat back and was over there cuckooing with, shoo-shooing with, and yet when they show you their ass, now you want to run back over here and talk about help. And we see that way too often. And enough is enough. And I hope this election showed y'all whose ass they really showed y'all. Because y'all got y'all asses beat across the board. And then on top of that, not only did they kick you down, with the allies sat back and spit on you, disrespected you. You had all type of allies that was out here just living it up. They was telling you off rip. They was like, shit, we celebrate. We doing this, we doing that. We don't give a fuck about you. We give a fuck about ourselves. Because y'all sat back and sat there and started shoo-shooing with them and it's like, oh, this was our ally. This was the person that we wanted to basically line up with. And then when they gave you y'all ass to kiss, guess what? Now y'all want to come back and talk about we want to boycott. Boycott what? What are you boycotting? I saw this video the other day. This is shameful. All right. So this lady sat back and said, hold on, let me bring it back. She said, let's see who did and didn't support Donald Trump. Dillard's donated, Nordstrom did it. Ace Hardware and Home Depot donated, Lowe's did it. Big Lots donated, Costco did it. What's the other ones? I think it was Walmart donated, Target did it, and it was a couple more that donated. Publix and Dollar General, they all donated. I think Bass Pro donated. You know what I'm saying? Hobby Lobby donated a lot. And this is what she put out there. Like, we got to sit back and we now that they show you who's done all on the donations. Sephora, where you get your jewelry from, they donated. And she talking about something. I hope y'all understand the assignment when Christmas come around. Ain't nobody sitting back thinking about no damn boycotting. Boycott, y'all always boycott and revert right back when shit die down. It's like y'all have amnesia. Y'all don't remember the last boycotts y'all did. Every time somebody do something racial, y'all say y'all gonna boycott. Yet when the Gucci put out blackface material, y'all sat back and say y'all gonna boycott Gucci, and y'all still up in Gucci shit. Every goddamn reel you see out here got Gucci on. People got Gucci, 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 Gucci. So what boycotting was y'all doing? Y'all wasn't doing no boycotting.
Boycotting the NFL. What you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Negroes still not watching football. What you talking about? Still boycotting? What you mean?
Bruh, at least Gucci was a legitimate boycott. She makes it sound like they made a donation to David Duke. Trump is not Hitler, bro. I'm sorry. I keep hearing these analogies or whatever the case may be. I do believe that he has said some things that make him sound like a suspected white supremacist. He's done some things that make him look like a suspected white supremacist. But at the end of the day, he just says the things out loud that a lot of these other racist white people say behind closed doors. He has not done nearly as much as the Democrats have done in a racist capacity. So I don't get what all this hand wringing is for. Where these Negroes are out here acting like the world is coming to an end because people donated to him. So what? They really, Negroes don't read, and they don't have an understanding of what is what. Joe Biden's mentor, Robert Byrd, was a segregationist and a leader in the Ku Klux Klan. That is a fact. All right? Joe Biden passed racist laws that got niggas in jail to this day. That is a fact. But you
racist statements.
Right. I mean,
it's on record.
They keep talking and whining about this statement that Trump made about immigrants eating pets and other little things that he said. Okay, well, Joe Biden said that if you don't vote for him, then you ain't black. That's not racist. Kamala Harris said, hold on. Kamala Harris said that she's not going to do anything that's only going to benefit black people. No, she singled black people out. But then she turns right around and talks about how she's going to do things that are going to benefit prisoners that want sex changes and pay for them with our tax dollars. Now, she can do some shit that's only going to benefit that group, but she can't do things that is only going to benefit black people, and she's supposedly a black person. Get the fuck out of here. Go ahead, Ann, my bad.
No. I was just going to add on to the fact that you said, you had said something about, the Haitians, right? So he said immigrants. I said, well, if they want to, the Haitians, y'all can't pick and choose, because guess what? When they're on record, Biden said he would love to get the island of Haiti and submerge it underwater and basically kill out the whole race of Haitians. This is on record.
He did.
This is on record. Y'all can go to Google and find that fucking shit that he said on record, that he want to submerge Haiti,
right,
and kill everything. You know what I'm saying? His disdain for Haitians. So when we sit back, that is far worse of a mindset than to sit back and do the crime bill and then come out here and have black people dress up in certain clothes just so they can orchestrate black people beating up on Asians to further pass a bill to harm black people and protect the Asians, because he's done a lot of deals that y'all don't even realize. He's done a lot of corruption deals with Asians and the Ukraine when it comes to his son. A lot of y'all don't understand the real in-depth shit. That's why I say y'all listen to Roland the Boule Bird, y'all listen to Pliers, y'all listen to My Son and Tamika Mallory, and y'all get hyped up over this bullshit that they spewing to you, but they not telling you the real deal behind what's going on.
Nah,
Y'all talk about this man so racist like that, but yet when the African president of Nigeria told Obama that he wanted to get weapons to fight Boko Haram, and Obama said, "Nah, I can't give you no weapons like that. We'll fight Boko themselves." And I told people all the time, when somebody don't want to give you a gun to kill somebody that's sitting back kidnapping children, then you got to sit back and say to yourself, why aren't they giving me the guns that I need to kill this person? Because the person that you're going to and asking you for the weapons is the same one that's behind the scenes making a play with the person doing it. Then turn around and give you a sign, bring back our girls, when behind the scenes he was taking the girls and having them funneled into human and child trafficking, and gave you this word of hope and serenaded you with the words. We talk about the Pied Piper. Obama was the Pied Piper because during his whole 8-year presidency, he had over 144,000 black women that got missing.
That's true.
Then he came out with gay laws, and then you see images today with Lil Nas X that have his belly out trying to act like a man that is carrying a child. Now, who has the #1 womb out of all women? Black women. So during the time of the Obama era, black women were used and kidnapped and funneled into the child trafficking and used as lab rats to sit back and try to see if they could do a womb transfer onto a man. In order for you to do that, you have to have a person that you have to use real life, womb in order to do that. Mm-hmm. So imagine all those black women that were getting tossed up, that were getting missing, out here to reconstruct their womb onto a man to see if they could further something in down the line to have men carrying children. This is sick shit. And this is shit that y'all can research and find out yourself. The people that's running the world, the people that elect these people to be the quote unquote face of these platforms, is the same ones that's not going to come out here and arrest these people. Because people sit back and say, well, if you have the information and all that, why they ain't get arrested? The people are not going to arrest the people that they put in to do this evil type shit. So then I say, going back to the stuff, why is it that when Trump got in office, the Nigerian president asked Trump for the military stuff that he asked Obama, and Trump gave him everything plus more. That's facts. Google that. Do your research on that. I ain't telling you nothing that I can't back up. I done had plenty of pages that got shadow banned and Facebook erased my shit for telling y'all the truth. And now it's going to be worse because now they got AI technology that comes in where they can alternate your voice to make you say something or do something and make it believable. And that's going to confuse to see what the reality is. Did this person really say it, or is this AI? So now you're going to be effed up in your mind in the future because you're not going to know what is real and what is in reality. Because they already putting that out there now. So now you got to understand that when you're looking at things like this, these people are now going to put in things to basically reframe you guys and harm you from their censorship. And this is what the Democratic Party was trying to push in. Thank God that Kamala didn't get in office, but they wanted to push in more censorship. So when you say something, you basically are going to be thrown in jail. They've done it in China during the COVID. They were extraditing the truth seekers that was going to China from Japan. They extradited them and threw them in the prisons of China. In the UK, they're throwing all type of people in prisons for exposing the truth. Right now, if you say something about UK right now on your computer in US soil, and they find out that you're saying something about them, they can extradite you from US and throw you in the jails of the UK. They have done it. You can Google it, research it, and you'll see how many people they have took from different countries and different continents and threw them in their jail if they extradite you, because now the censorship is all on that side of the world. It just hasn't gotten to the US yet. And that's one of the reasons why I said that I'm pulling back from this stuff, because it's going to get to a point right now where you start saying things and you're going to get demonized for it. So when y'all sit back and make sure y'all know who y'all real enemy is, because when you have people out here propagating and giving you propaganda on the wrong person, they're going to tell you that your enemy is really your ally and your ally is really your enemy. We've been learning this and seeing this for a long time. This ain't nothing new. And I know I've been rambling on, but I gotta let y'all know how important this type of stuff is, man. Nobody's telling y'all this stuff. You know, shout out to the people that come here, because they say when they come here, they get information they don't get nowhere else, because we're not sitting here trying to pander to you. We want to give you information for you to sit back and protect yourself and your family. This ain't got nothing to do with us. This ain't no ego shit. This is real shit. We want you to see what the real reality is and not the illusion of the Matrix. And I land my plane on that.
That, Bobby?
Oh, like you said, he was spitting all the bullets. You gotta know who's who and what's. You gotta know who's who and what's what for real. You have to understand, and just to talk real quick, what you were mentioning about how they're going to be using AI to sow all manner of disinformation. They're already doing that right now. They done had at least 3 that I'm aware of, maybe 4 different videos of Tangerine supposed about how he's going to start doing X, Y, Z, this, and the third, and no such statements have been made as of yet. Tangerine hasn't made any videos talking about what he's going to do, this, that, and the third. They're saying he's going to be, doing all kinds of stuff to the LGBTs and everything else. None of that's been put out there. But it's deep fake videos. And the problem is a lot of people are going to be buying into that because, as we've seen, they're not using their logic. They're using their emotion. So what's going to happen now is whether you like the head citrus in charge or not is irrelevant. But what they're doing is because they know that you're so emotionally invested, they got you like puppets on a string now. They just miss and tug you, just wind you up. They know that they're going to send you off to the races. What they're doing is they're putting out statements through these deep fakes that confirm, quote unquote, because it's not legitimate, your worst fears. So they go have you doing all kind of stuff out there, believing all kind of things based not on actual facts, but what you think. And that's very dangerous. I remember back when, because then again, these tactics that they've been using in politics is age old. Every time there's an election coming up, especially for the last decade and a half, the Democrats, the Democrats' backup strategy has been, well, if we let the Republicans get in, it's going to be an existential crisis. This is a horrible boogeyman. Oh, the Republicans are going to get you. That's what they've been pushing out there, and supposedly they're the good guy in the fairy tale that saves everybody. But I remember back when it was Bush that got elected. There's a whole bunch of people talking about they didn't like it, and this was around the time when the Democrats still had some semblance of actually being a fair party in general, not with us, but in general. And the whole mandate was, if you can't respect it, this was when Obama got elected, because you had a whole lot of white people salty that you had Obama in office, but you had some GOP people who had sense talking about, we don't respect Obama, but if you can't respect the man, respect the position. That was the sentiment. So we don't like this person. Our guy didn't win. We don't like this person at all, but he's still the president. He's still the leader of the country that we're supposed to be all patriots to. So if you can't respect the man, cool. Respect the position. All that's out the window now. So there's no respect the man, respect the position. It's putting out deep fake videos, and it's not the conservative Republicans that's doing it. That's undermining your democracy. This is, for better or for worse, Captain Cheeto is the leader of the United States of America. Deal with it. You don't have to like it, you don't have to love it, but that's the case. However, in order for the country to move forward and be functional and to maintain its position in the world, you have to be on board with the leadership. You have to find a way to work together. All this talk about working across the aisle that these politicians love to play and toy and bandy about, you got to do that. If you're putting out all this crap because you're emotional and throwing a damn hissy fit as a grown-ass adult, you are undermining leadership. You're putting out content that is harmful. You've got, like, as you pointed out at the beginning, Ed, you have members of the LGBT community committing suicide for fear of Tangerine being in office. And you don't think these deep fake videos being put out there are helping to hype and elevate that? You have blood on your hands. You are directly responsible for aiding and abetting American citizens into unaliving themselves.
Correct.
Because you're having a hissy fit. That's how self-centered you are. Not because of what Tangerine did. He didn't ink anything, no laws, no statements, nothing. But because of your selfishness, you are responsible for people committing suicide. And it's not going to stop there. There's going to be other drawbacks to that.
Exactly.
So, and the other big thing I'll leave with this is, suppose these kind of actions are things that would have been associated with the MAGAs. The Tangerine MAGAs. This would have been MAGA behavior, but it's not being put out there by them.
Mm-hmm.
These will be your blue MAGAs. The
Oh,
only
there
difference
is
is
a blue
which party. Oh, there absolutely is.
Oh yeah,
absolutely is. I saw. Did y'all see that video the other day of that liberal Karen trying to tear the black women apart because they heard Malala saying that they're not going to vote for Kamala?
I saw the one screaming at the baby.
Yeah,
I wanted to kick her ass myself. I saw the one
All
screaming
manner
at
of nonsense. Now, this is stuff, again, you would associate this with a Trump supporter, but it's not. It's a Kama Sutra supporter.
Yeah. They're animals on both sides. Patrick says in the chat, plantation Democrats have successfully taught Black America how to make decisions from a childish, immature, world star hip hop mentality. He couldn't be more correct.
Couldn't argue that if I wanted to.
He couldn't
Where's
be
the
more
lie?
correct. And that's why I'm encouraging some of the people who have been talking all this smack all week to call up, because what I've noticed is people don't realize how ridiculous they sound when they're typing stuff. You understand? Those same people who will type that stuff, they won't call up and say it with their chest out loud, because when you say it, you're forced to listen to how it sounds. And when you say it in the presence of intelligent people who will challenge your perspective, if you're talking nonsense, well, that's a whole other animal. See, now you're
better
accountable for what you're saying. You understand? This is why I want some of these people who are talking all this emotional nonsense, I want them to call in and make your case. Let's talk. Let's have a logical debate, because I want to see what you got. I've sent messages to people directly. Yes, I am calling you out. Come on, make your case, man. Like, say something. Don't talk about it, be about it, because this is real. This is important. I believe in a country that has two healthy political parties with ideas. You understand what I'm saying? And I believe that the ideas should compete, and we should go with the party with the better ideas. I'm an independent. I'm straight down the middle. There's some things that the Republicans say that I like. There's some things that the Democrats say that I like. And I want Black people to get more in the mindset of listening to the information that is before them and making a logical decision. Let's stop with this vote blue no matter who nonsense. Let's stop with all this, because she a Black woman. I'm going to vote for the Democrat because the Democrat, the party for the Black peoples. No, they're not. The Democrats are not the party for the Black people. You understand what I'm saying? And here's another one from Lord Cordis. Absolute belief in a political party or politician is illogical. Thank you. It is the duty of voters to understand issues and vote in their best interest. This is what I'm trying to tell Negroes.
Facts on top of facts with extra facts, and hold a cap, please.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm trying to tell Negroes, because so many of y'all are so caught up in the plantationism that is your thought process. You dig? You're not thinking. You're not making rational decisions. You're having knee-jerk reactions. Oh God, Trump said something crazy. Trump says crazy shit all the time. That's how he gets all the media coverage, and that's how he got to be the politician that he is. These dumbasses in the news still haven't caught on to that. He says these outrageous things to get the coverage. And before you know it, all you can hear about is Trump all day. All this free publicity. You understand? And before you know it, he's the front runner in the election for the president of the United States. I'm not giving
it's marketing 101.
It's marketing. I'm not giving this stuff he says a pass. I'm not giving it a pass.
When you're a politician running for office, what are you supposed to do? What's the C word that you're supposed to do?
Campaign.
That's
it.
Campaign is nothing more than what? It's marketing.
Promotion. Marketing. Yes. And this
basically it's live action. Political campaigns basically, this is an intellectual exercise we're doing tonight. Political campaigning was basically nothing more than content creation before we ever even knew what content creation was. You're cobbling together campaigns, whether it's flyers, leaflets, commercials, talking this is that, talking smack. We've seen some nasty political ads over the years, even before Trump was even a fixture in politics. We've seen some slanderous ones, especially the local level, talking smack about candidates, and then vote for so-and-so. This is nothing new. The original going viral. You got your ads blasting all over people's local TV stations for several months before the big election or what have you.
Right.
That's been the thing. Yep. Tangerine simply is doing it at an elite level. He's basically taking the same viral principles that get people buzz on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all over social media, and he's applying it to political campaigns.
Facts.
And whether you like it or not, they're not going to do it right now. But once he's finished his term and then, he recedes back into the annals of history, a lot of his tactics are going to be considered primary tools for campaigners going forward. Hate it, love it, the man has changed the game, and the way he's put himself out there is going to forever change. Donald Tangerine Trump has done for politics, this is for my MMA heads, what Conor McGregor has done for MMA and the UFC in particular. He's taught folks how to market themselves.
Yeah. He's
taught you how, in this age of social media and viral marketing, where people have these limited 140 character, 3-second attention spans, where you say one thing, they forget it because they're so used to tapping on the thumbs. He's taught you how to stay viral, how to stay in people's minds, how to retain that valuable real estate up here. So there's going to be a lot of people on both sides of the political aisle who are going to be using those tactics for election cycles to come. Watch.
Oh, yeah. Facts. And what you got? I know you got some heat over there.
Oh, no. I was trying to look to see how to pin the comment in YouTube because I wanted to pin the comment because I want people to know we did leave the link in the chat. So you can scroll up and click the link, and we'll definitely pull you up on stage. And you can join on. You don't have to type, because I know sometimes y'all might have a lot to say and you just don't want to type everything. Just feel free to look at the chat. We have the link in there, so you can go ahead and click on it and jump up with us. You know what I'm saying? So it's there for you guys. What you gonna say, Bob?
No, we waiting on you, Aaron. What's your clips and everything?
Oh, okay. No. So I did want to say some people are out here. I want to say when Bobby was talking about, I think it was you or Bobby that was talking about how people don't know the facts, they're indoctrinated. I saw a clip that I thought was pretty dope because this was pretty much, it's self-explanatory. I don't need to. I'll let you watch the clip, and then you guys.
And you God's words, not no hustle. And I'm gonna tell you, God is black.
God is black. Everybody knows God is white.
Everything the white man taught you, you accepted. He taught you you were a black heathen, and you believed him. He taught you to worship a blonde, blue-eyed Jesus with white skin, and you believed him. He taught you that black was a curse, and you believed that. Did you ever look up the word black in a dictionary?
For what?
Did you ever study anything that wasn't part of some con?
What the hell for?
All right, so it's a lot of people like that, you know what I'm saying? And that was before his transition, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, that knowledge that was given to Malcolm Little before he became Malcolm X is what changed him, because he was running around here like, no, shit, they told me that Jesus was white. That's how I took it. What I got to investigate on that or research that. Is that what they tell me? That's what they tell me. So he's like, yo, you don't even realize this? Do you even know this? Did you even look in the dictionary to see what the definition of black is? He was just a walking zombie. And the transformation of the information of learning and researching got him on the level that was so far superior that even to this day, even though his spirit is gone, I mean, his mind, his physical realm is gone, his spirit lives on. The Malcolm X spirit flows through all the people that know the true meaning of what he stood for and stood by. Even to this day, we still refer back to the whole election. We always go back to the ballot and the bullet. He said that back in what, 60s?
60 something, yeah. It was
and to this day, we're still referencing the ballot to the bullet speech. And and when you listen to it, you like, damn, every exact word is something that could be so prolific to this day.
It's like he was talking about today.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, that's how you feel like he was he was way before his time, because the stuff he spewed back then is still stuff today that could be like, yo, this is powerful information. And that says a lot about Malcolm X, but it also says another thing about us. Like, how does somebody 60 years back is more impactful than somebody today who has more freedom, more resources, more knowledge, more reference points than he did?
Yeah.
He didn't have a phone. Yeah, he didn't have a phone that was carrying around information like that. He was from an era where you had to go borrow books. And in some of them, you had to buy books. Then some of those books was very, very expensive. So you pretty much had to know somebody who was a collector in that realm to get extra books that was teaching you that. Because to be honest with y'all, y'all don't even understand. We talk about systematic racism when it comes down to the educational school system, but y'all don't even understand how the racism is affecting us as far as books go. Some of the books that tell you the real truth about the world and how to be successful in it, like real books, law books, all that, those books cost 10, 20, 30, 60,000. Some of them is cost 100,000 plus, about the price of a house in some places.
That's true. Or they just don't make them anymore.
Exactly.
Like, certain books you can't buy no more. Fact.
Because those publishers, again, just like with the distribution in hip hop, those publishers, they refuse to publish that information. So a lot of those books are self-published, or they're published by somebody. They're published one time, so it's literally a first edition.
Yep.
And based on the work and effort that took, they have to price it up a certain high. Or in some cases, they purposely price those books to be so expensive so the average person won't be able to get access to them. You're like, God dang, why is this book $300 and it's not even a textbook? Because of the amount of academic wisdom and knowledge inside of it. You don't understand that. Exactly. First edition books are like platinum. Now, you have people in the world that literally collect books, and they collect those rare first editions. They will travel all over the globe to get those books, and they'll just tell you those things are priceless. They cannot be replaced. If that book is gone, it's gone and don't exist anymore.
If you do the research on a lot of our elders that we look up to, the John Henry Clarks and everybody in that realm, the reference books that they tell you, man, those books is very rare to come across or very expensive. And these
Worth a few of
elders
them up.
invested in it. Yeah, these elders invested in it. And that's why when they speak, it's so prolific, and the knowledge that they speak is impactful because they were getting a lot of this information that was the truth in the books. And that's why, you know, when you were growing up in our era, you know, our grandparents and grandmas used to tell us, like, everything you need to know is in the book. That's why I tell y'all all the time on this platform, our elders told you, tell lies vision. Stop watching TV. It's tell lies vision. Right now, we're programmed to the TV. Like, this is a mobile TV. Because if you have a subscription with a television company, you can get that to your phone. So if you have like CBS or basic channels or anything like that, you can get it to your phone by just adding the app, and it comes straight to your mobile phone wherever you at. You can watch the news or whatever the case may be, you know, basically on your phone. So you have a mobile television, a mobile programming tool. And that's why a lot of our children are so hooked on this, and they get their information from it, but we don't teach them how to navigate through it and find the real information and throw away the trash. You know, it's crazy because when we feed a toddler a fish, we'll go through the fish and we'll pick out all the meat and make sure that that toddler is not picking a bone with that fish. So we go ahead and pre-prep it so that way they can get the nourishments out of it and not be harmed by the bad stuff of it. But we don't do that to our children now, just on the basic level. And that's something that needs to be implemented. You know what I'm saying? And that's also part of the two household system, because you get a balance, because a lot of the men are more in tune to making sure that that child has the survival skills. And then a lot of the women, and we're talking about healthy functioning households. I don't want to talk about your dysfunctional household, but we're talking about the model of a healthy functional two-parent household. The man is more of the logical and getting into the survival, and the woman is more on the nurturing and making sure that your emotional intelligence is intact. So you have a balance of the two. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have that balance like that for the majority right now, because we're drifting further and further apart. And then we having the discussion and also the warfare of two egos, right?
Yeah, there's
so,
that.
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
heavy. That's heavy. That's a big one.
Yeah. So that's what it basically boils down to.
A coworker actually does exactly what you're talking about, Ant. Now we're in Texas, a little different, but especially in the summer when the kids are at home, because he has two kids, a boy and a girl, and they both be on their tablets and on their games, whatever. And he makes sure that they have a set amount of educational time where they're reading, they got assignments, whatever to do, and he gives them a limited amount of internet time. And he'd be right on his phone, on his Xfinity, whatever application, and he sets a limit on how long the Wi-Fi can be on, or that the device can access it. As soon as they hit that mark, it cuts off. And if they want any more time, I'll be sitting right there. He'd be right next to me. He'd just be chuckling because his son be messaging him saying, "Dad, can I get another hour on whatever?" It's like, and he's like, "Did you finish XYZ?" "Yes, I did." Or let me see, send me a picture of it. Can I send a picture? And he'll go right there, he'll type in, get 30 more minutes, an hour more, whatever, right then and there, regulating that. But no, and his kids are good. He has good kids. I mean, they don't give any problems, but still, it's not about behavior. It's about controlling the access that everybody else has. It's garbage in, garbage out.
Facts.
Exactly. That's where you get the military mind frame. You know, most men operate in a military mind frame where it's more of a structural thing. You know what I'm saying? So he wants to implement structure in their children, like, hey, there's a balance. You got to make sure that you're doing this before you can engage in this. So the priority is on the left side. Once you do all that on the left side, then you can do what you need to do on the right side. Same thing with the two-parent household. Remember, the father pretty much regulates everything in the household. Hey, you did your chores, you did what you need to do. Okay, cool. So That way, if you didn't do it, then your ass gonna get your ass beat by your father. You know what I'm saying? And your mother would tell you, hey, your father ain't gonna like this when he get home. So you had to make sure that you did what you needed to do before he got to the house. So when he got to the house, it was a little too late. Now you have, like I tell people before, when you have, and this is not to bash single parents, you're doing the best of your ability of what you need to do. This is just to give you some insight of why we need each other and the balance that creates in the household that creates great individual children and produces it out of that roof. So, when you have that balance in there, so a big problem with a lot of single women, and this is why they don't have too much of a great effect on children, is because as a woman, you're very emotional. You're tied to the emotions of your children. So when you are out here disciplining your child, when you have to be the person that disciplines your child and then the one that has to nurture your child, you're sending mixed messages and non-effective messages. Because now as a mother, I have to beat you. And I don't want to do that because every time I'm beating you, I'm getting emotional as if I am your enemy. So now I got to stop. Once I stop, I then come behind and say, what do you want to eat? Do you want your favorite dish to eat? Do you want me to make your favorite chicken and rice? Yeah, Mom, I like that. Okay, so now I'm giving you chicken and rice. And now we're sitting here bonding, and now I'm feeling bad about disciplining you. Now I go above and beyond, and then now I say to you, hey, Christmas is coming up. You didn't give me your Christmas list of what you wanted. Now, mind you, this child was just being bad and very rudely in school and not even doing their schoolwork. But because of your actions towards them, now you felt like you went a little above too far with it because it's not in your womanly nature to do that. So now you have the remorse to sit back and want to reward that child for the beating that they kind of deserve. And now that's the psychological engagement that is a tug of war in your mind as a mother. And I've watched that shit so many fucking times. Yeah. So, it's really deep. It's really deep. But I land my plane on that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you spoke on that. That's facts, man. You have any other vids on the election?
Yes. Let me go ahead and give you this one right here. So I know you guys don't like this individual, but man, he had to let y'all know how he felt about the election. So
I know y'all got
what he had to
got some stuff.
She don't like black women because she did not put not one black woman on her platform. She went and got black itches. She went and got them rapping itches that shake their ass and pop their pussy. She did not go get a woman that could talk. She did not get a black woman. She went and got black itches that know how to shake their ass and pop their pussies. She did not go get an upstanding black woman to speak to black people. I keep telling you, she did not go get upstanding black women to come talk to upstanding black people. She went and got Glorilla, talk about Moose Knuckles. She went to go get Cardi B, who cheat on her husband. She went to go get Megan Thee Stallion, who done slept with over. She went and got Megan Thee Stallion, the industry hoe who done slept with over. She went and got hoes and bitches to try to talk to black women. Oh, I can't wait to do a Say Cheese TV interview. She went and got hoes and bitches to talk to black women. My mama wouldn't dare listen to no woman that come out talking about Bodak Yellow. This ain't bloody shoes. This is bloody shoes. She went and got a retarded woman to shake her ass and pop her pussy. They get bumps on her lips to talk to black women. HPV packing bitch. Oh, Lord, thank you, Jesus. Oh, we got my president back. Oh, we got my president back. Oh, I just fall to the knees and praise the Lord. I just fall to the knees and thank you, Jesus.
Oh, God. He's such a
wild.
You're always gonna find truth in the comedy. You're gonna find truth in the comedy, right?
He's such a cool.
Wild and apoplectic as Buddy is. The jacked up part is he is 199% correct. I told you before what my mama used to tell me. She still tells me, never give your enemies an opportunity to laugh at you.
Man,
Don't never let them do it.
Oh.
And they went ahead and they let it happen. Again, so
Jesus.
this allegedly black woman, she's
Yeah.
running a national campaign. She's trying to appeal to voters. And remember, she's not going to do anything that's for black people. No.
That's what she said.
So that means that she's not going to go when she's doing her nationwide campaigning. Surely that means she's not going to bring any black people to speak, right? No, she's going to bring some black entertainers. Okay, well, is it going to be Ice Cube? He's been politically savvy lately. He's been trying to, get politicians to represent our issues. Did he get? No, didn't do that. You bring someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's a well-respected scientist. No. Did she go and reach out to maybe any of these black sisters who are highly educated or represented? Every week, we've made it a point to showcase sisters who are doing it in multiple areas, older, younger, from sports and athletics to aviation to politics. We've been finding these sisters.
We have.
A lot of them current too.
Facts.
The Kama Sutra heals up Paris. Go ahead and find these sisters and bring them out there to speak to America. No. Just like he said, you went Glorilla, Curbin on Curbin, Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah.
Cardi
when they
B.
when they got Cardinal B.
I mean,
this is who you won't do anything for black people. No. And you refuse to give in to our demands. But when you decide to finally appeal to black people, this is what you bring out. So this is your black representation. Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, and Glorilla.
Yeah.
But she's a sister girl. She went to Howard. She's an AKA ski week. Okay.
Come on, bro.
So that's what that's worth. I see.
Basically, yes. Look, fam, it makes my head explode. That's a great point that you just made, and that Charleston White, the coon that he is, made. You know what I'm saying? I mean, never mind, he's dressed in Confederate flags, and if this guy is the gift that keeps on giving. He's such a coon, but he was spot on. I mean, you can't find any decent black women. Donald Trump, to his credit, he had Amber Rose come out and speak, right? I don't like anything about Amber Rose. I don't agree with anything Amber Rose has to say. But you know what? She came out there and spoke like she had some goddamn sense in respect of the venue that she was entertaining. You understand what I'm saying? She spoke like she had intelligence. She spoke on issues. Even Amber Rose had the sense not to get up there and shake her ass at a presidential rally. I had this argument with some bird earlier today. You're like, oh, Megan's just an entertainer. She was just performing. No, dumbass. That's not what's going on. She's not just an entertainer, and it's not just a performance. There's a time and place for everything. You didn't have to explain this to women 20 years ago. But now, ho for it or go for it. Anything goes. You at a presidential rally, shaking your ass and twerking, and people are making excuses for why that's okay. And you wonder why your ass lost the election? Really? I want some of my liberal friends to come up in here and defend that shit. I want you to bring your ass in here and defend it, because it don't make no damn sense. And while we're at it, he made a very good point about how Kamala Harris was misrepresenting black women with all these ratchets up there, just acting a damn fool and making an ass of themselves when she's supposedly a black woman. That shows right there that she ain't no goddamn black woman, because a black woman would have had more respect for black women. All right?
Go ahead. In fact, to further double down, because the horse is dead, we go beat it back to life and then kill it all over again. To further go down that rabbit hole, every time she's attempted to appeal to black people, it's been some jackleg ass stereotypical bullshit because that just happened. But remember, what else she used to establish her black bona fides? Remember,
collard greens. She washes them in the tub.
Greens in the bathtub. Hot
she
sauce.
washes collard greens in the tub, right?
She stole that one from Killary.
From Killary, right?
Hot sauce.
Don't forget the accent.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget the accent.
Exactly.
You better thank a union member. You better thank a union member for vacation time. You better thank a you. Shut your ass up.
And remember, back when she was in Howard, remember, now, even though the timeline doesn't sync up, she used to listen to Snoop D-O-double-G and Tupac.
That's what she had said.
And she wears Chuck, and her favorite shoes are Chuck Taylors.
Chuck Taylors, right.
Chucks and Pearls.
Oh, and she also wears Timberlands, but she said that she listened to Tupac and Snoop when she was in college, but when we checked her paperwork, we came to find out that Snoop and Tupac ain't put out music till 10 years after her ass graduated college. So yet another lie after an attempt of trying to blacken herself up in her mind. This is black. You understand what I'm saying?
Even the lie wasn't even a good. She didn't say that, well, I used to go and protest with the Panthers, or, I used to go out. No, nothing that's actually black and powerful,
right?
Black and sophisticated. No.
Yes.
I used to smoke weed and wear Chucks and Timbs, and I listened to
Cardi B.
Rap. So rap music, getting high, and sneakers.
Yes,
that's what makes you black.
That's black.
Every time she's trying to validate her blackness, it's always something cringe.
Mm-hmm.
Not nothing of any note. That's the best she got.
That's it. And let me also add this little nugget in there while we're at it.
Yeah.
Because she really, really, really went out of her way, and the Democrats always go out of their way to appeal to women. And I guess that's okay. I have two problems with the way that they went about that. And I want sisters out there. I got some sisters in the chat. Our good sister Mila Renee, shout out to you. What's up? I want my sisters to really start putting this message out there to kind of pull the other sisters and get them on message. Stop letting the Democrats use y'all and pretend like women's rights are equal to and only equal to discussions about abortion. Bruh, that shit right there just makes my blood boil. In her concession speech, this bird is up there talking about goddamn abortion. Dude, nobody is banning abortion, first of all. If you really are paying attention and you know the facts, you know that Donald Trump is a person who is for abortion up to 12 weeks, and he supports exceptions for life of the mother, rape, and incest. This has come out of his own mouth. He's not talking about banning abortion. And real talk, if we're talking about regular everyday women, black women in particular, when you start talking about your list of priorities, how many of you have abortion in the top 10? The ability to get an abortion, is that some shit that it moves the needle for you one way or the other on a day-to-day basis? Is that some shit that you think about? No. But you keep, as soon as they say women, they keep saying women. Oh, they're going to take your rights. Oh, Lord. They get y'all. I seen black women out here repeating these dumbass talking points that the Democrats give you. This is not shit that you came up with on your own.
Trigger words.
And they're getting a lot of black women. Y'all need to tighten up on that shit. You need to check these people at the door, because you got suburban white women giving you their talking points, because they ain't got no real fucking problems. Let's just keep it a buck. They don't have no real problems. That's why they can sit around and worry about goofy shit like abortions. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they don't have no real problems like that. And again, nobody's trying to outlaw abortions. But I mean, if we just keeping it a buck, the only people that they really promote abortion to is our community anyway, which has its own message. That's my second issue. You know, my man, Lord Curtis, oh my God, even hate the language that abortion equals health care. Boy, let me tell you something. That's another thing. These goddamn people that you said something right there, brother. These people make my head explode with their bullshit analysis of what an abortion. They don't call abortion abortion. They call it women's health care. You understand what I'm saying? Even when they were talking, when Kamala was talking about using taxpayer funding to pay for the sex change operations of illegal immigrants in prison, because that's something that she changed the law in California to be able to do. That's how crazy this motherfucker is. You understand what I'm saying? She used the term care. I wanted to provide these men with the care they need. She's positioning it as health care, getting a sex change operation for somebody and funding it with taxpayer dollars to this moron is health care. But we didn't vote for her because she's a woman and we're misogynists. You can't fix stupid on that level if you really believe that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, facts. This is ridiculous nonsense at this point. I can give you 100 good quality reasons why people chose not to vote for this woman. She is a lunatic and she doesn't believe in anything. You know, she doesn't even give an answer to a straight question. I could go on all day. In fact, I'm going to do a video just on the reasons that people didn't vote for Kamala, because I keep hearing this repetitive, nonsensical lie that it was somehow because she was a woman. I really, what do y'all think about that? Because that just makes my head explode when I hear it. I'll park the Chevy right now, but I want to hear what y'all think about that. Because when I hear people say we didn't vote for her because she's a woman, and I can name 10 good reasons off the top of my head, starting with the fact that this woman couldn't even be honest about who she was, that tell us very clearly why people didn't vote for her. You know, and she was in the lead when she first came on the scene. She debuted with the lead in the polls. So those same people who were saying they'd vote for her when she first came on the scene, okay, after she started talking and people realized how much of an imbecile she was, I can't vote for this lady. But people are ignoring all of that and just looking at the fact that she's a woman. It must be because she got a pair of titties. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's woefully incompetent and she's a bobblehead. She can't answer basic interview questions, man.
Mm-hmm.
They asked this woman, what are your weaknesses and what have you learned from them? She went into some meandering ass explanation, start talking about how she was raised in a middle class family. She reminded me of George Jefferson when he used to tell a story about I was born the son of a sharecropper. Just bullshit. Gang, what are we doing here?
The refusal to answer questions straight up.
She's running for president.
Presented with a yes or no question, with a question I call for yes or no answer. Do you like blue? Yes or no? Well, you see, when I was younger, I had a Crayola box, right?
Don't forget to laugh.
And it was my favorite box of crayons that I ever had, and I used to use them all the time. And one of the colors that was in them was a blue crayon.
Bruh.
Jesus Christ, no one asked for this episode of Reader's Digest. Yes or no? Do you like it? But
what do y'all think of that point?
But that's game, though. That's game, because if you answer in a roundabout way, you can technically never give a wrong answer. That's default. And see, another thing that bothers me about things like this is that politics is supposed to be an intellectual exercise, right?
Right.
It's an intellectual process. It's supposed to be, as Dr. Claude Anderson has put it so many times, politics is all about resources. Who's going to have them, in what proportion, who's going to get what they need for their group. Plain and simple. Emotion is not supposed to factor into that one way or the other. It is not an emotion exercise. far too many times I see people literally the most inane, mindless thought processes when it comes to politics that they would not do anywhere else. You have people who straight up are lying in your face, and you can look on the record and see what the lies are. You see that this person is not trustworthy, they do not have your back. But yet you're still going to say, well, we have to support this person. But meanwhile, in your everyday life, you know damn well you would never accept that from anybody else. I couldn't come into your face, Major, tell you some bald-headed ass lies that you know are false, and you still gonna rock with me. You're gonna support me. You gonna don't give me money. You're gonna go in and back me when I'm doing certain things. No, you're gonna fall back because you're cool on that. Unless I'm a politician, I'm Democrat, and then you're gonna back me because vote blue no matter who, and we gotta support the lesser of two evils. And I ask people, if I put you in certain situations, I tell you to make a choice, you can say, I'm not making a choice. I'm not doing that. Well, you have to. I'm going to rock. Right now, I'm going to give you two options. You only have two options. You will either give me $5 or $50. You can only make a choice. You go mush my face to the side if you don't get out of my damn way. You have to choose. No, you have to choose $5 or $50. How about you to put my foot up your ass? If someone comes and says you have to either vote Democrats or you have to vote Republicans, you only vote for one, and you have to choose the Democrat option. Well, I'll just stay home. I'll vote for the couch. You can't do that. If you're not voting, you vote for the other person. Why not? Well,
Why you can't?
That's illogical. All people are literally operating in the world of politics on fantasies and fairy tales and wives' tales, and it's terrifying and it's scary. Where is the intellect? Where's the thought process? It's not there. It's about who has done the best job of manipulating and sowing seeds inside that they're ready to harvest. That is scary. That is scary. I'm not afraid by someone that I'm not scared of someone that decides they want to go out and vote for Trump. I'm not afraid of one of these maggots. These MAGA voters. I'm not afraid of them. I'm afraid of the mofos that go out here and vote because someone has a finger in their brain. So it's like a lobotomy. And anytime they wiggle the finger in a certain direction, they can get you to say this, do that.
It's on twitching.
Like a joystick. It's like they got a joystick on your ass. That terrifies me. Because my question is, I want to know who has their finger on this button. That's the real nuclear football. That's the scary thing.
Hold up. I got something. Hold up. You just hit on something right there.
Cook.
Now you're talking about triggers, and I figured out something, and I think we can tie this directly in to correlate with what we normally talk about in a dating and relationship capacity. I figured this out somewhere in the midst of this because I noticed a lot of the same people. Unfortunately, a lot of them are women. I'm not trying to pick on the women, but it is what it is. A lot of the people, because it's mostly women that are mad that Kamala didn't get elected, and they're calling us sexist because of it. But what I'm noticing is that this certain type of woman that is upset shares the lack of accountability that the Democratic Party is putting on display right now. You understand? When you talk to some of these sisters who are out here, I'm not beating up on all sisters. We got some real sisters. Some of them are in here right now. Shout out to you. But a lot of the women who are so upset because, we didn't vote for a black woman, so that makes us misogynist and we hate women and this and that and whatever the case may be. I've had debates with them before where when you talk about relationships, there's absolutely nothing. The woman must have done something. The man must have done something wrong to the woman. Even with the Tia Mowry situation is the best I can think of. Tia Mowry left her husband. She said herself, the man didn't do anything. But women online, he probably cheated. He probably abused her. He probably did. The woman said out of her own mouth, he didn't do anything. She just wanted to leave, right? Instead of holding her accountable for destroying her marriage, they still came to her aid and started caping for her, talking about everything else. And I noticed the same thing with this election. They lost They lost convincingly. The loss was brutal. They got their asshole kicked in.
Swept.
Dude, they didn't win one swing state.
Never seen it before. Swept. They got the blue. It looked like an NBA Finals.
It was bad. It was bad.
4 straight.
And by the way, there's a sister, Sabby Sabs. Y'all need to listen to her on YouTube. She is a badass. She called this shit right down the middle. Told us exactly why in each state it was going to go to Trump, and she predicted that it was going to be a blowout. That sister is powerful. I encourage anybody on here to go and subscribe to her podcast right after you subscribe to ours, Manversations 2020. But subscribe to Sabby Sabs too, because she hit that shit out the park. But the correlation that I'm drawing here is, there's no accountability. Everything is somebody else's fault. And that is the commonality, that I see with a lot of women out here, unfortunately, and with Kamala. The same problems that we're seeing in some of these relationships where there's this toxicity and this hatred towards men. They went out of their way to appeal to the women in this election, but they basically ignored the men. And they wonder why the men didn't vote for him. And they demonized us every time we expressed something that we felt. And it's like, okay, well, we don't have to vote for you. And so the men went somewhere else. That's going to happen. And at the end of the day, if you have the opportunity and you screw it up, again, she was ahead in the polls. That's on you. It's nobody's fault but yours. So I don't want to hear this misogyny bullshit. I don't want to hear it. It's nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Mr. Ted P, he knows Sabby Sabs too. Okay. And the dog running through the gate and barking back at the other dogs. It's facts, man. Listen, Joy Reid just announced she won't support progressive men marching against Trump. I'll be like, dude, and these people are the ones who claim they're tolerant, the liberals. But ever since this has happened, you see them become more and more unhinged. Joy Reid had somebody on her show the other day, some so-called doctor, some so-called therapist. Remember Shabri Rawls, the therapist that's in her drawers now, twerking? Yeah, so we know about how some of these therapists get down, right? She had some so-called therapist on her show the other day, and she asked the lady, you could tell this was rehearsed. She asked the lady, well, these people who voted for Trump, basically, should we continue to talk to them? She's talking about family members during the holidays. Should we speak to them? Oh, absolutely not. That's what the therapist is saying. Absolutely not. Sometimes you just need to take your space. And, when people behave in that manner, dude, they had a difference of opinion from you. And you're the ones talking about the Republicans have a cult. And look at how you're behaving. And Joyanne Reid is just, she is a basket case right now. She's the one out here talking about how there's this undertone of fascism among young Black and Latino men. This is a sitting news anchor on MSNBC. This woman has a whole show talking this bullshit about how Black men and Latino men and so forth, we're willing to vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump, first of all. I voted for Jill Stein. But if you don't vote for Kamala, then you're a fascist and you're sexist and you're misogynist. Al Sharpton saying the same thing, and it's like, dude, you act as though you didn't just get your ass kicked in an election. You don't think the next wave, they're going to remember this bullshit that you're talking? Nobody watches your little bullshit show already.
Heroes mad that they're not going to get any sort of cabinet position. They're not going to be no press secretary. They ain't going to be no representative. That's what they're really salty about.
And
they're
we
not going to
don't
get no good
need
job.
these coon-ass niggas like Joy Reid and Al Sharpton in no damn secretary position and Roland Martin. All these niggas want is a job, and that's the problem.
Looking
They
out
have
for themselves.
nothing to offer the people. They have nothing to offer the people. All they want is a goddamn job, and we figured that out too. That's another thing that happened. I'm sorry, I'm just going off a little bit, but I got to get this off my chest. That's another thing. I think one of the things that was the biggest issue that contributed to Kamala's loss was the media. These hacks in the media that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, just talking stupid and insulting people, condescending in their tone, speaking down to black people. At the top of that list is President Obama. I don't know who told this green ass nigga to come out and start talking shit to black people. Nigga, you don't have no say so in black society like that. Check the video I did on Obama's ass. It's somewhere in the videos. Nigga, you don't have no credibility in black society. You need to sit your little scrawny ass down somewhere. You know, Obama, Ricky Smiley, Roland Martin, Steve Harvey, who else? Bakari
Bird Martin.
Roland Martin is butterball ass. Who?
We can't forget good old fashioned.
Yeah.
Download Hughley. Don't forget good old can't remember his name anymore. Moist Lamont Hill.
Oh my God. Oh, this guy. Surprisingly, he hasn't been as obnoxious this election cycle. I gotta give credit what credit is due. He hasn't been as obnoxious this election cycle. I think
he was quicker on the uptake than the rest of them. That's
sure. He was. Oh, Van Jones. Yes, Van Jones and Luke old trout mouth ass talking shit. Like, no, Democrats, DNC. Let me give y'all some game. If you want to try to talk to black men, Plies, that's another Democratic shill.
Yeah, we're going to try to in a minute.
Yeah, Democrats, let me give you some game. If you want to try to talk to black men, you have to get black men that other black men respect. These little moist fruit booty niggas that you got to come talk to black men, nobody's listening to them. None of them have any sway in black society. When I want to laugh, I'll listen to a buffoon like D.L. Hughley or Roland Martin makes you laugh too, even though he's not supposed to. That's a whole other conversation. Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey. Those are buffoons. Those are court jesters in black society. We don't take them niggas seriously. You understand what I'm saying? You want to really talk to black society, you got to come and talk to black society. I want to see the DNC bring up somebody like Tariq Nasheed or Jason Black or Farrakhan, somebody that we respect. We don't respect these niggas. We tolerate them. Charlemagne the God. We don't respect these niggas. We tolerate them. I said what I said. You understand? Even Umar Johnson, you know, we've had some disagreements with Umar, some of the stuff he's done or whatever the case may be, a lot of us. But Umar is still a very thorough and official brother, and we don't question that he ride for his community. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to talk to us, talk to us. I don't want to see all this bullshit about y'all going, because let me keep it a buck. When we start talking about the grassroots and the soil, and we see you out here talking to somebody that's full of shit, you persona non grata. We know that you're not serious by the black people that you're talking to. I'll put it that way. If you're talking to Roland Martin, that is telling the people that are on the grassroots in black society that you are not serious. He is a nobody in black society. And all the other niggas I named. I said what I said. I'll park the Chevy. What y'all got, man? Let me calm down over here. What y'all got?
All right, so I want to just show a couple of the videos real quick to kind of pretty much make up what y'all said, because y'all went on, so y'all basically covered the 3 of these videos that I had. So that's perfect. So let me go ahead and share these videos, and then we can chop it up afterwards.
Highlight something that the data from this year's election showed us about men in America. White men don't trust white women in leadership. The data showed us. Latino men don't trust Latino women in leadership. The data showed us. Black men do not struggle with black women in leadership. The data showed us, because overwhelmingly black men voted for Kamala Harris. And even in 2016, the only race of men to overwhelmingly vote for Hillary Clinton were black men. There's constantly a narrative about black men. And yes, there are black men with their egos on their sleeves. Yes, there are black men chasing proximity to whiteness and a bag. But the majority of black men, unlike other races of men, are not chasing just a bag, but we are considering our humanity and yours and what's at stake every day for the women in our lives as well as the people that we care about. So this logic that black men are against black women is just not true. There are black men who want to be heard, though, that want their perspectives to be valued and that want to be seen as the base of the party along with black women, because we're the only people in this country who consistently show up and do our part along with black women. And so it's time that we recognize that and not let the fraction of us that go over there chasing proximity be the ones that get the conversation over the majority of us who consistently show that we do not struggle with women in leadership. We want our voices to be heard by the women that lead. I want to highlight something that the data from this year's election.
Hold on. I'm gonna chime in real quick. I'm gonna fall back. I have no issue with the general sentiment of what the brother's saying in the video.
I was using the general sentiment because I already know
the general sentiment I can rock with, but this whole idea that us showing up and voting for Democrats is doing our part, that's bullshit. He needs to learn that. And the other thing is that Kamala is not a black woman. She has yet to produce any proof that she is a black woman. Her mother is an East Indian. The only article I've ever read on her father says that he is a Jamaican who is of Irish and Indian descent. Nowhere, anywhere has anything ever said that this man is black, aside from MSNBC reports where she informed them that he's black. He has never said he's black. So, it doesn't, that rings hollow because he's never said he's black. So she's not black. And we don't have a problem with black women in leadership, but we would need a black woman in leadership to support in order to make that point. But I'll land.
The premise that I showed that was basically to say that we don't have a problem with the leadership of women. That's basically what the general consensus of it. He's just saying that we don't have a problem with leadership of women. As long as we get the right woman in office, we are fine with supporting that woman. And that shows majority across the board. I think he was applying that to Kamala, but I just wanted to take the initial consensus of what he was saying is that black men don't have a problem with black women leadership. And we've seen that because we praised the Panther Party. Remember when the Panther Party had went down and they got locked up, all the men in the Panther Party got locked up. The black women held it down. But that wasn't black Sambo women. That was black women who was about that life, who was very intelligent. The Kathleen Turners and the Angela Davis at that moment in that time, those were some riders. Those were sisters. You couldn't tell them that the sky was pink. They'll tell you fuck you and kick your ass on top of that shit. These women was riders. These women would put their foot in your ass. They had guns that they were shooting. They weren't scared of it. They were holding it down for the brothers that was locked up due to one of the most racist presidents, with Lyndon B. Johnson in that time, who made sure he did anything he could to lock them up, to disarrange the whole Black Panther organization. And it didn't work because the sisters was thorough, because if they were men that were ego driven, they wouldn't put the sisters on game of how to run something. So that way, if they didn't do that and they got caught up, the whole Black Panther organization would have collapsed. These sisters took over and had that shit running till the time that the government had to let all the Black Panthers go. The Bobby Seals and all of them had to let them go because they were trying they were trying to hold them to dismantle it and didn't even know that the system was still running. So they like, fuck, that fucked up their whole plan. So overall, we don't have a problem with black women. We're just on here telling you that we need the representation of quality black women. And that goes back to what we was talking about months back when I was telling people, and I made the post, and then you had reshared the post on your page that said, name us a similar sister this era that's kind of like Sister Soldier. Like right now, who is the comparable person that you can say is kind of like a Sister Soldier? And when we sat back and put it on my post and you put it on your post, we ain't get no, what we had. We ain't had nobody that was, they couldn't even name nothing. And that's sad that as a woman, you cannot name somebody who's reputable, who fights for your community like a Sister Soldier. That says a lot.
You can look up to.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Well, we,
so
can
that
name,
means
we have an abundance of twerkers and a bunch of Meg Thee Stallions and everybody else. We got a bunch of those.
And indoctrinated, and indoctrinated women, you know, the AKAs, the Deltas and all that. Those are indoctrinated women. Those women aren't out there to really be riders for the community. A lot of them have intersectionality talking points. When you sit back, and that's one of the reasons why Joe Reed keeps bringing up Ashley Gantz's name, because all she does is regurgitate what the liberal democratic narrative goes on with. So all you're doing is you're bringing these women aboard to get the recognition, to get the accolades, sit in these chairs, and then regurgitate the same bullshit talking points that we can hear from white women and white men. And that's not the people that we want in the seats. Because when you either gonna get those type of women, or you're gonna get the what's the lady with the hat that wears the cowboy hat up in Congress? Frederica Wilson.
Frederica Wilson, yeah.
You're gonna get the Frederica Wilson and the other black lady. What's the old 80, 90-year-old black woman on the west side?
You talking about Maxine Waters?
Maxine Waters. You're gonna get, those are the two extremes they give you. They give you the.
I will say this: Frederica Wilson at least has done some things to help black people. Maxine Waters, I will give Frederica Wilson some credit.
Yeah, Frederica Wilson
Maxine Waters
the
has
only
been
credit.
a burger flipper and fry flipper at Nothing Burger.
The only thing that's
a job.
The only thing you could give Frederica Wilson credit is for she does some kind of program. I mean, that's the same thing. Like, we got mentors down here that has less resources, like Dr. Clark, William Clark, DC Clark.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he does way more than Frederica, and Frederica has the resources to do way more. She does like the bare minimum to say that, oh, I'm doing something. And it's the same program. There's no build on top of that program over the years. Because people be like, oh, you ask them, what has Frederica Wilson done? And they keep naming the same program that she's done. And she's been in office for over, 40, 50 years now? So it's like, yo, why are we having people to hold up the seat when they have resources that's at their fingertips that they can utilize? But then when you start realizing that these women don't push the envelope, they sit comfortably in the seat, they just tell you to sit back and pray, and they get praised for doing bullshit. Like, that's why we're going from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, to 2000, 2010, 2020s, and we're in the same fucking mindset that we left off in the 60s and haven't progressed nothing. And then you have 70 years that went by, and everything that our elders, this is why I say y'all not y'all elders. A lot of y'all not y'all elders, because there is no way that our elders during Jim Crow have built facilities, institutions, and businesses that has lasted from the early 1800s all the way down to the 70s, and we lost it from the torch being passed at the 70s. Now we have lost everything they created. We had black banks all over the place. Now the only black bank you got down here, you have to go to 79th Street. We have so many black banks that was in Broward County. We had some in Miami where we had to utilize our black banks. We lost all of that. We have historical places that's being lost right now. We almost lost the Hampton House. Thank God they had donations. And shout out to Edwin Shepherd.
Edwin Shepherd. That's my guy.
Yeah. He's gonna kill me if you see that. But shout out to Edwin Shepherd for going down there with our elder, coming together and saving the Hampton House, which was the place that you guys saw the immaculate and historical picture of all our elders that was in there, from Dr. King to Malcolm X to Muhammad Ali, and they all had a great time down there. And that's historical, and we almost lost that. There's so many other historical stuff that we lost. Even on the west side, they lost their beach, but they were able to get that back. I mean, there's so many things that we have to buckle down, stop shaking our asses, stop fucking around. Our children are suffering because of this shit, because we're acting like buffoons and foolish assholes when we have more resources, more freedom at our fingertips than our elders did, yet they created way more than what we are creating. And they did it in the time of Jim Crow, When Jim Crow told them, hey, you get outside of your turf, we're going to hang you, we're going to torture you, we're going to terrorize you, and do all of that shit, and still was able to build. And here we are, nobody's over us, nobody's sitting back doing that to us, and yet we're losing everything, ain't building shit, and all we want to do is jump on planes, drink liquor, smoke weed, and twerk our ass off, while the next generation is at a disarray and don't know where to go because the leadership hasn't passed down the torch. And like I've said before, we have an obligation to make sure that every generation before you has to make sure the next generation is either living on the same level or better. And we're not doing that. They're actually, the next generation is going to live worse than us. And fuck around, the generation after that might end up back in slavery, because we're not on a majority level buckling down to make sure that our next generation has enough wisdom, fight back, a strength, also with they're exuding a lot of self-esteem and understanding how much they're worth, to know that moving forward, nobody can fuck with you and you can establish and do anything you want. No, we're not telling them that. We're telling them to pray, and we're sitting back to the level that these parental figures we have now are on a level where they're so afraid by the fear mongering that they're killing themselves and their children. I think a woman took her life the other day with 3 children because of this election going into the hands of Trump. So it's like, we got to get the fuck off of that. And this is the pivotal moment that we need to take these next 4 years and build some real concrete shit moving forward. We can't goof off no more. We're losing too much traction and we're losing too much good people. All right, I'll land my plane on that, but I damn sure want to give you guys these 2 videos real quick, and then we could chop it up. All right, so this is what Kamala Harris is doing.
Kamala Harris, and I grew up in the church. Okay, me and Maya, we went to Oakland Church, and we sang in the choir, just 2 middle-class little girls, you know. We had a lot of faith, okay, because faith is a verb. Faith is an action. Weeping may come in the night, but joy cometh in the morning. Yeah, Jesus is good. Jesus is great. Jesus is black. Yeshua, I will rule in the name of Jesus. We ain't never going back. I am a black woman, okay? And we lead with faith. It's important. What do you think of that, Dougie?
Yeah, that was great, honey.
Was it black enough?
I don't think I'm qualified to answer that.
I'm gonna try it again. Okay. I'm Kamala Harris, and I grew up in the... I'm Kamala...
No, she sounds just like her. Oh my God.
Where's my cards at? 10. Matter of fact, forget 10. 11 out of 10.
Oh my God.
Not only did she get her voice down perfect, but even got her fake attempted the black accent voice down.
Oh
yeah.
And then
weeping may endure for a night, but joy it cometh in the morning.
You better thank the Holy Ghost. You better thank the Holy Ghost.
Let me show this video real quick too. All right, there you go.
Didn't get because I vote.
Check out this video
good
clip.
For
It's
her.
so
Listen to this.
I voted for Biden. That's
Okay.
probably why Trump lost. I'm one of them 7 million votes that he didn't get. Because I voted. Because I was told I was black and I should vote Democrat. So I voted Democrat.
I got fooled too.
I'm not doing that no more. And after I'm witnessing them trying to take down Trump as much as possible to keep him from getting back in that White House, that makes me want to vote for him more and more and more.
Me too.
Good.
We need somebody in there that's real. Not these puppies like Biden. Biden is a puppy.
Facts.
He get in there and he get in front of that camera and he does what they tell him to do.
True.
Trump wasn't gonna let them tell him what to do. See, that's why I'm looking back on all this now. And I'm not gonna let another black person or another white person.
All right. So she basically was saying that you know, these is a lot of sisters out here that that are fed up from the Democratic Party. And that's what I was telling people earlier, before the election started heating up and ramping down to the last part of it. I was telling people that there's a lot of sisters that really did not vote for Kamala Harris. When you look at the overall ratings that that Black women vote for the Democratic Party, it's normally at the 94, 96%. And this go round, I think they fell to like 87% of the Black women voted for Kamala Harris this go round. So it wasn't really even like, it was a huge drop off. You know what I'm saying? Because people are seeing that, you know, black people are waking up. They're realizing we're not getting the tangible stuff. We're getting the same old, same old. You're using blackface to tell us something different than what we're getting. And they just fed up. So whenever you have, whenever you've been lied to by so long, people are now seeing the polar opposite of it. Because people, when you hate something so much, like even when you grew up as a little child and your mother gave you the same food over and over, whether it was vegetables or just a dish, and you ate it so much as a child, you never want to see that dish as an adult when you can buy your own food. And I think that's what's happened now. This election has basically got people on that side of the realm of it. And it's going to be hard for anybody to pull them back without tangible resources. So shout out to a lot of the sisters out there. Brothers have been on code, but shout out to the sisters out there that's not letting that shit happen and is pulling away from the programming and wanting real shit to be done. So I'll land my plane on that.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh.
Shout out to go ahead, Bob.
No, I was gonna say real quick, just tying in for the first and the third vids. First off, and because I know they're gonna try to tiptoe around it, but I'll say it flat out. They're gonna want to hold black people, and we're already saying that black people, black men in particular, but it was a group effort, like you said, Ann. It wasn't just the black men, there's sisters involved as well. But they want to hold black people responsible for the Democrats losing their election. And I agree. It was us. I gotta take it back to WWE when Vince McMahon screwed over Stone Cold Steve Austin. He took out and said, "It was me, Austin. It was me all along." Yeah, it was us. It was us.
Yes.
And this is good. Remember, say hello to the bad guy. That's us.
Yes.
We're owning that 110%. But the funny thing is, and that's for the external folk, but for the internal people, for our people who want to get on us and blame black men, you just don't want to vote for a black woman, this is that and the third, despite the fact, it's important out that of the black men who voted overwhelmingly for Kama Sutras, the only group of men to actually even vote for Kamala Harris above 50%.
Yeah.
What I found very funny is that a lot of these black women, the Democrat black women, they ignored all that support. It's right there in the numbers. They ignored that big old figure of black men that voted for her and focused on the small, tiny little chunk that voted for Tangerine.
Yeah.
You don't hear all this large swath of well, thank goodness for the black men that showed up at the support. Nothing. They're focusing on the small numbers. And I couldn't help think, because again, my point that I've been really trying to drill is how so much of how we deal with politics is emotional instead of intellectual, as it should be. Another way that you see that this is an emotional exercise for too many of us, unfortunately, is that this reaction almost perfectly, flawlessly mirrors how we have black women behaving in the dating market. It's identical. You just got to switch the labels, and lo and behold, it's the exact same figures.
Yep.
We have the same 80-20 rule playing out. The same exact 80-20 rule. You had I just looked up. It was 78% of the black men that showed up came and voted for Kamala, as opposed to the 20% or so that voted for Tangerine. 80%, quote unquote, of the men voted for Kamala Harris. 20% of the men did not. But what are the 80% of the women focusing on? The 20%. It's the same exact thing. Where are the good men? I don't know who they are. The same 20% of dudes just running through all the women, just having their way across the board, while the other 80% of the men just get ignored or just not even taken seriously or picked apart. There's something wrong with him. This is that and third. Nothing wrong with 20% over there, but there's something wrong about the 80%. He doesn't get the heart rate jumping or what have you. The same exact principle. You ignored all this support for your candidate, the person that you wanted. So you can nitpick and focus on the fact that it wasn't 100%. Even when 100% of black women did not show up and vote for Kamala either.
Sure didn't. The thing is that it's just a common practice. Blame the black guy. You know what I'm saying? Blame the black guy. It's a knee-jerk reaction. And the thing is, you know, like you said, I'm totally with you on this, Bobby. We need to lean into that. They're blaming us. Yeah, we did it. And what, bitch? That's right. You know what I'm saying? Like, facts. Like, when I did some shit.
T-shirt.
Yeah, you dig? Like, back in the day when I used to be a lesser individual, when I did some slimy shit, like, we think you did. Yes, I did it. Now, what you gonna do? You understand? Like, I was that guy. You dig? Because
Trump got in the White House. You better thank a black man.
You dig?
Better thank a black man.
Because otherwise, what did I do it for if I don't want you to know that I did it? Yeah, we did it. Yes, 78% of black men still voted for this heifer, right? But that dropped 15 plus points from where it was before. And what they're not telling you on that chart, or what that chart does not tell you, and 92% of black women, which is down from, I think it was 97. That dropped 5 points. People don't realize a point drop. No, before from black women?
Yeah, it was in the 8. They polled it. It was 87.
When? I'm talking about versus the last election.
Oh, versus the last election?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the last election, they normally vote like 95, 96 era.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They know. So it dropped down to 92 is still a drop. I'm seeing 91 and 92. That's still a drop, right? So support for the Democrats and the Democratic candidate dropped for both black men and black women. People don't realize 1 point can be equal to anywhere between 250 and 750,000 votes, depending on how many people showed up in that particular electorate. You understand what I'm saying? That can be a lot of votes. People think, 1 point is not a big deal. It can be a very big deal. And when you start talking about, 3-4 points, that's bad, let alone 15 points. But what they don't tell you in that poll is about the number of black people that didn't show up. You understand what I'm saying? And that is where they really got kneecapped. A lot of black people. They lost Michigan because Detroit didn't show up. They lost Philadelphia. They lost Pennsylvania because Philadelphia didn't show up. They lost Georgia because Atlanta did not show up for her ass in particular. Because again, Fonnie Willis won her race. You understand? So there's something going on among black people where we kind of, these people full of shit, and we need to have a protest vote. There's a whole movement called Abandon Harris that the Muslims started. Nobody's talking about that. And there are a lot of black Muslims too. I'm telling you right now, Wisconsin, Georgia, and Michigan, those 3 states, Abandon Harris, there's a hashtag, Abandon Harris. If you put that on any social media platform, you'll bring up all the Muslims. They decided they refused to vote for anybody that was a Democrat because of the fact that they're funding the genocide in Gaza. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a whole movement of Muslims. They won't cover this on CNN and MSNBC. They don't want you to know about this movement. There's a whole movement of Muslims that said, fuck you. Just like there's a whole bunch of black people that said, fuck you. The whole point of this election is people are tired of your bullshit Democratic Party, DNC, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, all you fuck niggas. People are tired of your bullshit, and they see right through you. You use us for our votes. You get in office and you act like we don't exist. You pass legislation to protect the lives of Asians who nobody's even bothering, and you ignore black people. You understand what I'm saying? And
but Major,
yeah,
if they're not talking about it, that's a story. What happened to freedom of speech?
Oh, they don't want you to have no freedom of speech.
If they're not covering that, isn't that a type of misinformation?
Misinformation, exactly. But
if they're covering the truth, would that make them Russian bots?
Yeah, I'm just saying, gang. It is. They got all kinds of bullshit ass terms that they want to put on you when you don't agree with their narrative. You're a Russian bot or you're giving misinformation. No, we have decided that we don't believe you. You need more people. To quote the great Negro poet Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, it just is what it is. You talk a lot of shit, but you don't do anything. And black people have caught on to the con. And I am so happy I could shit. It's a new day out here. It's a new sheriff in town, bitch. You understand? And we just not going for your bullshit no more. The next time, I am so happy because knowing that Negroes kneecapped them and that we are the reason why they lost this election, largely in part. That says to me that the next time they come to talk to us, they're going to have to talk to us with some damn sense. Stop taking us for a joke. Stop taking our votes for granted. Stop sending Obama's scrawny ass out there to talk down his nose to us. You understand? You got these uppity Negroes and these stuck-up ass latte sipping white people. You know, these hoity-toity types that they don't know anything about the things that we face on a daily. They don't know the first thing about, you know, they can't even tell you what the cost of groceries are. You know, people like Joe Scarborough, his punk ass, or his show talking about who raised these people. You know, talking about people who voted for Trump. Oh, who raised these people? These are not the people who grew up in my neighborhood. Who said your neighborhood was all that, Joe? You understand what I'm saying? Who said your neighborhood was all that, or that you were all that? Because I remember Joe Scarborough when he was a degenerate Republican. A degenerate Republican neocon piece of shit. I remember him when he was that. So now he got his new identity and he want to break bad on people. You understand what I'm saying? And furthermore, it's not about voting Republican or Democrat. All black people should have no party affiliation. You understand? Vote your interest. Like the brother said in the comment, I think Laura Cordes said that earlier. The biggest losers in this election were the mainstream media. Facts. Because the new black media is taking the hell over. You dig?
They show that they're out of touch.
Yeah.
They do not have their fingers on the pulse. They're not on the bleeding edge. They're not even on the cutting edge. They're not even on the blunt edge.
They don't know anything.
They're in the dust.
They don't know anything.
And you cannot call yourself a competent news organ if you are the dust. Your job is to tell the news. That means while it's fresh when it just happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're playing catch up, you're not the news. You're a history report. You're the archives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. These people, they get out here and, they're supposedly these $1 million experts. They're experts, right? Why is it that on election day, they're more surprised than anybody else? This is the second time this has happened. Remember, before Hillary Clinton got mollywopped, she got her ass handed to her. They were saying she was going to win. Oh, she's ahead in the polls. You have people out here as early as the day before election. They talk about Kamala Harris is going to sweep all the swing states. In what alternate universe is Kamala Harris going to sweep all the swing states? How?
That must be a spoiler. That must be a spoiler for an upcoming Marvel or DC movie.
Your facts, because bruh, it's no way. if you really are paying attention to what the people are saying. Again, you have these elitist leftist assholes that don't talk to any real people. They don't leave their suite in Manhattan. They come in there, the videographers are there, and they shoot based on what they heard somebody else say that somebody else said. They don't talk to nobody. You understand? And so you're listening to them, and of course, election day comes and you're as surprised as everybody else. You got these people out here having meltdowns because they've, in effect, promised these people a Kamala Harris win when she was nowhere near competitive. And it was obvious if you really knew what was going on. Nowhere near competitive. I'm just saying, bro. So yeah, we got a lot of work to do. I'm giving the Democratic Party some game. I'm giving the DNC some game. Stop listening to these hacks that don't know shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I will give some credit to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders just let this shit be known. Hey, this is some bullshit. Like, it was a terrible campaign. He kept it a buck. Bernie was the realest nigga in the room. You know what I'm saying? I give him some credit for that, though I disagree with, his stance on reparations, especially when his people got the shit. You understand?
Yeah.
I have a problem with Bernie because of that. But, we really got to start holding these people accountable. This was a very, very clear, decisive victory for the grassroots. And we need to get used to this. We need to start doing more of this. We need to put it on the table that the black vote is no longer for granted. And if you want it, bitch, you got to earn it. I urge some of these people on the left, who ran behind Kamala Bot, look at Jill Stein's platform and adopt some of those policies. She has some good stuff on there. She really, really does, but I only disagree with her on open borders and the radical gay shit. But everything else, Jill Stein is pretty, she's pretty solid on. You could moderate some of those positions, but her overall approach is a good one. I would have voted for Cornel West, but he wasn't on the ballot in Florida. You understand? So that's that's another problem I got with the Democrats, because
you had to write them in if you're going to do it.
Yeah. The problem, that's another big problem I have with the Democrats. They want to criticize the Republicans for not having a democratic process, or wanting to eliminate the democratic process, not following democracy. Bitch, didn't you install Kamala Harris as a political candidate? Didn't you do that? Nobody voted for her ass in no primary, no time, nowhere, no how. You installed her as a candidate. Okay? Above and beyond that, and RFK was very forthcoming about this because, he ran against Trump. All of the candidates on the left, Cornel West, Jill Stein, etc., those candidates complained about how the Democrats and their lawyers in every state were going out of their way to keep them off the ballot.
Yep.
And kneecapping them, and doing little shit to make it so that they couldn't, partake in the debates and so forth and so on. But you're going
tactics.
Yeah, but you're going to complain that the Republicans are not honoring the democratic process. RFK said that Trump was very gracious, didn't bother him, didn't do any slick shit to try to keep him off the ballots, whatever the case may be. So that's why when RFK conceded, he went and endorsed Trump as a final fuck you to the Democrats. The Democrats are a slimy ass political organization. They do slimy shit.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a rack with you.
Yeah,
they're arrogant as hell, and they should be.
Mm-hmm.
They have every right to be cocky and arrogant and entitled because black people have made them that way.
Yes.
We have taught them that you can come to us for our votes, for our support, for our backing, for our presence, not do a damn thing, but not offer us anything. Even when the obvious information is out that's leaked, you literally are sent memos to all of your politicians when black people come and start giving their grievances, asking for things, that you are not to promise them anything. You're to listen and appear sympathetic, and I understand, but under no uncertain terms are you to promise them anything or to pledge that you're going to do anything for them. In other words, you must neglect black people. You must leave black people out of the political process where you're concerned. You can do all that, and them dumb, goofy niggas will still show up and go ahead and cast a ballot for you. They'll still go out and talk, and not just vote for your candidates. They'll take the next step. Vote blue no matter who.
Mm-hmm.
If that's been the MO for the last several decades, you should be cocky and arrogant and feel like you own everything. Your biggest voting block is under your thumb, not even under your pinky. You should feel cocky. If arrogance, I don't know what it is. That's what you would call it. Mugamazai from Stomp the Yard. The 7-year champs are here. Yeah, you undefeated.
Yeah.
They're that way because we have made them that way. But we have yanked the rug. We've yanked the table. We've yanked the table top from underneath them. And all I gotta say is, it happened 2024. Midterms in 2026. The next big cycle is in 2028. If the Democrats don't get that together and learn how to talk to us nice and come to us with tangibles and substance, nigga, we do it again.
Well, basically,
and that's not a threat. That's a promise.
It's a promise. Like the brother said in the chat, though, you know, they said, they haven't had a legit primary since 2008. See, in the Democratic Party, it's based on who's popular. And that shit gonna have to end. Because I don't like the way they fucked over Bernie, if we keep it in the buck. I disagree with him on shit, but the way they fucked him over was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And what he said was, the problem is their donors made the policy platform, and that is the problem. You know what I'm saying?
But the problem is you have a bunch of old hacks that don't want to let go of power. What they're supposed to do is, you're supposed to be, you know, and people have been complaining about that too with Biden. You got all these ancient fossils still holding these offices. They've been in these positions for 50, 60, 70 years, damn near.
Yep.
And ain't no one looking to let go. There's supposed to be a grooming of the next generation in any organization, not just politics, but in any organization. You're supposed to groom the next generation. So that way, God forbid, if anything happens to the top, whoever comes in next is a surety. The way that the political process is set up is supposed to mirror that. The reason you have the order of succession in the White House, if something happens to the president, the vice president is sworn in. If something happens to the vice president, whoever's next in the cabinet is sworn in. There's supposed to be an order of succession so that there is always continuity. You have that in place in the elected office, but that hasn't been the case in the party. There has been no one grooming the youngins to take the next step, because you got Nancy Pelosi and them that still want to have everything go through them. They still want to be the kingmakers. They still want to have the titles. If you're not a Clinton or you're not a Pelosi or anybody else, you can't get any traction.
Yeah.
Even with the people they're supposed to have in office. Now, I don't care for her, but similar to what you said, you have your what's her face? The almost said Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What's the Somali chick over in Minnesota's name?
Ilhan Omar.
Ilhan Omar, and you have your
AOCs.
AOCs. Her, most notably, she's supposed to be the future of not just the Democrats, but the future of women Democrats. Remember, women empowerment, support women, right? Yeah. But meanwhile, you have the old heifer Pelosi that can't stop going neck and neck at her.
Yeah, but with AOC, that there's a cause. She's an idiot. I mean, I can respect Ilhan Omar, some of the other leadership. AOC, no. Anybody else but AOC. She's just so.
I agree. But the problem is, that's their girl.
Yeah.
For hate her or love her, that's their girl. She's still, now I'm sure she's goofy, but maybe if Pelosi and them would take her under their wing and try to, guide her and give her that backing and mentorship, you can get a different result. But so far, all you're getting is mean girls.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And it's not AOC, okay, but you have other young women in Congress. Who is she reaching out to and mentoring? Who is she bringing up? Nobody.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So at some point, and so he has the flaws, but you're not doing it for anyone that's more qualified. So what's the problem? It can't just be her. It's got to be you too.
Yeah, it's all part of the politics. It's all part of the politics. It's done by design. It's a theatrical bullshit. Because
Political theater.
Even with Bernie Sanders, he's a bullshitter because he tries to play both sides, and he got his hand caught in the cookie jar when I researched why the fuck they had him sign a contract. The Democratic Party put him on a contract where he can't even do something, and then they placed him on a Senate seat, but not as a Democrat. But then when something flew past his board on the table, he didn't sign off on it. That would benefit, people in the political party that he was in with the Democratic Party. So it was set up for him to be isolated as something different. And then when they didn't pass it, it was another excuse. Oh, it didn't get passed because the Republicans had majority. But yet you had Bernie Sanders sitting on that thing, even though you signed off that he couldn't be a Democrat, but he was still on that panel where he could have signed it off and it would have been in y'all favor. And he just sat back and let it ride like that. So these people sit here and they play these political theatrics with people. And that's why we as Black folks have to get shit done on a grassroots level, build up our own set of politicians unapologetically and let them move up the chain of command. Because the ones that they have not, this ain't it. These Black women are just being in these seats just to hold the seat and to gain accolades. And that's not what we need. We don't need somebody that's there to take accolades, you know what I'm saying? We need somebody that's going to go in there and get shit done for the people, and that's why we have our young brother out there in South Carolina, you know what I'm saying, that we need to get on the ballot. And then there's other people that's seeing how infectious his is, because I remember his interview about reparations went viral, and a lot of people are starting to know his name as well. So we need more people like that to start getting in the ground level seats and then boosting themselves up on an unapologetic level with our backings. And just like how they was talking about ban these corporations and businesses that donate to their political interests of Trump or whatever, our black businesses, we got to start getting down to organizing where we fund some of our local Black people that's unapologetic to get in those seats as well. So we got to sit back and try to get a funnel or tunnel to get some kind of a pipeline going to get this thing up and running. Otherwise, from that, we'll be sitting back waiting for this side to act right when they be like, fuck it, you ain't making no moves. But when you come up there and you start making moves, then they're going to kiss your ass and get shit done. So we just got to propel ourselves on that way. And pretty much that's what it is. I did want to show these couple videos real quick, and then we could get out of here. But remember, Democrats, we ain't forget this. This was something that hit Kamala hard too. Just because Kamala ain't do it, you represent the Democratic Party and you was pushed by Joe Biden. Remember when Joe Biden sat back and overlooked our young little sister and she was just trying to get your attention, you pushed her out the way to go hug a short white lady. Then you went and got this Hispanic lady in the back. You hugged her. But our little Black youth, you ignored her. And she felt that, and the world felt that. And that shit came back and backfired in your face. So that's one thing that you guys did when the election was over.
They don't deserve to teach a woman for the next 4 years. But we got that through, guys. I personally think that if all of these women had to stay their rights away, they don't deserve to teach a woman for the next 4 years. But we got that through, guys. I personally think that if all of these women...
All right, so when the election was over, we heard a lot of crying and bickering because shit ain't going y'all favor. And that was by design. You're not going to get rewarded for putting out bullshit. And just to see the amount of people that wanted bullshit rewarded, that should be a shame on you. You should look in the mirror and say to yourself, why would I want bullshit being promoted like that? I'd rather the bullshit lose, and that way they got to come with some real shit in order for it to be acceptable. So shout out to everybody that was out there and bickering and crying and whining because your candidate didn't get into office. Hey, it is what it is. Black people, y'all need to stop doing this with the Democratic Party. This don't need to be you, but this is a clear representation of a lot of black folks in the Democratic Party.
He won't jump out of the circle. See? Yeah, see?
So we got that. We got that barrier going on, and we need to stop
Yeah. That's sad.
as well.
That's
you know what I'm
sad.
saying? And the last one I want to show real quick is that when we talked about what's her name, Joy Reid. Joy Reid had to take that L. But one thing I do congratulate her on is she was real on TV about it. So this is what she said.
One place, and I would actually like to put this narrative to bed, maybe forever. One place there's not going to be realignment, black men. Every 4 years, I go through the ritual of having to talk down, this the sort of world that wants to say that black men are just realigning and they're all going to run to Donald Trump. There is literally no difference in the exit polls. A 1 point difference is not a difference at all between where black men were in 2020 and where they are in 2024. It's not black men. They are not the ones shifting. What you're seeing are shifts among Latino voters for sure. But you are not seeing shifts among black men.
And she said at the end of it,
Mm-hmm.
That's not correct.
No.
She know what she doing.
She knows what she's doing, but that's not correct because
I know
so many black men didn't show up. So yes, they did shift.
Correct. What I'm saying is that she got on air because she trashed us day in, day out.
Mm-hmm.
But she was saying, stop making it about the black man narrative.
Okay,
and
I get it.
She said, if you listen to what she said something about they had me programmed in a ritual. Y'all notice that when she said that?
She did say that.
She was admitting that they kept feeding her this narrative to put out there. And then all of a sudden that her candidate didn't win. Now she wants to come out. And this was a kind of a way of kind of cleaning herself up under the rug.
She gets a little credit for that.
Yeah. So she said that on air. So I just wanted to highlight that. But I'll land my plane on
Damage
that.
control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll land my plane
She's still
on
a
that.
moron. Yeah, she's still an idiot.
Definitely.
Joy Reid is perhaps the most unhinged out of all of them. Joy Reid has jumped out the window, man. Like, this woman is crazy as cat shit, man. Like, she's not well.
Delicious.
Real talk. You know, she's jumped out the window. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski have jumped out the window. Rachel Maddow might be straight by next week. I mean, dude, it's just she done her head done exploded so much she might be in a damn miniskirt and heels by next week. That's how fucked up Rachel Maddow is right now. Like, they are really losing their shit over there. And look, at the end of the day, you know, they're talking all this shit about respecting the results of elections and the democratic process, and that is not what they're doing. The people have spoken decisively, and it was against you and your bullshit policies. You liberals that want boys with wigs to play in girls' sports and want to teach transgender ideology and want to teach transgender ideology to elementary school kids. You liberals that want to let 10 million fucking illegal immigrants in the country and give them all types of benefits when they don't even belong here while your citizens are struggling. You liberals, it's you. You are the problem. And people are sick of you. You put a candidate out here that can't answer basic interview questions. You Democrats, this is you. This is nobody but you. I don't want to hear no shit about she didn't win because she's a woman. You are an imbecile if you believe that. Normally, I don't like to say that people are stupid because of their political views. But I'm sorry. If you believe that, you're an idiot. because there was so much wrong with this woman, right down to legitimate programs, legitimate television programs and news outlets like 60 Minutes going in to edit her answers on major questions and change them so that she doesn't sound like an idiot. That's what we just had. They edited her answer, the actual answer she gave on Israel, and they played another one to keep her from sounding like an idiot. It is what it is, man. Like what
misinformation.
Then they want to talk about misinformation from people on the internet. No, the misinformation is coming from you. And the issue that I have with that, people want to talk all this smack about, oh, you know, they're treating her differently because she's a woman. They're treating her differently because she's a, you damn right they're treating her differently because she's a woman, but not the way you think. Because I cannot think of any man who was ever installed as the candidate for a political party in the history of politics. I can't think of it. Maybe there is somebody, I don't know. She did not have to earn anybody's vote to get that nomination. Okay? She didn't have that. You have actual journalists. What's this lady? Somebody Rule. Her last name is Rule. Dark-haired lady. She's on CBS, I believe. She actually came on Stephen Colbert's show and said, this woman don't have to answer questions. Hillary Clinton said the same thing. She doesn't have to answer questions. What are you talking about? She's running for the presidency and she doesn't have to answer questions. And you have 60 Minutes that literally went and changed her fucking answer to a question to make her sound qualified. Yeah, she is getting special treatment for being a woman. Or maybe just because they want a liberal in. I don't know, but it looks like it might be for her being a woman. You understand what I'm saying? But not the way that y'all are saying. And people want to overlook that and ignore that because that's telling the truth. You know, I'm tired of this this conditional equality that a lot of women want. You know, if you're going to come in and play with the big boys, they're going to knock you on your ass when you try to score. That's what happens when you play with the big boys. I don't want to hear no more whining about them asking questions, basic ass questions, or you're not supposed to ask her. Even Steve Harvey's goofy Bama ass. I ain't going to ask her no, I'm going to throw some softball lobs so she can alley-oop. Shut your goofy ass up, nigga. Like, really? This is a problem. Because even if she were a black woman, we're still not supposed to just give her a pass and vote for her because she's a black woman. Candace Owens is a black woman. You couldn't pay me to vote for Candace Owens, the coon that she is. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to get off of that.
You don't support black women.
Huh?
So that means you don't support black women. You're a misandrist.
Clearly. No, I'll be misogynist.
I want to add this in real quick because I forgot. But black women, please. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't really want women in general in leadership or having roles where they have to make decisions. And that's not to say that women can't do it. It's just there are some women out there, and there's some men that do it too. But there's some women out there because it's an emotional charge in your DNA, in your femininity, that a lot of times you guys make irrational decisions based on your emotions. And when you do that, you are subjecting yourself to very harmful disciplinary actions and possibly might either go to jail behind it as well. But this, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but this happened. I can't remember if it was pre-election or post-election, but this happened. So FEMA official who allegedly told workers to avoid Florida homes with Trump signs got fired. And that's the sister right there in the corner. And for you to do that, like, you risked your whole livelihood by being emotionally charged and telling workers that work for you not to go to the homes that have Trump signs, especially when they went through a tragedy like that. And you get caught up out of there, and you're going to be used as the whipping cushion. You're going to be the poster child of their disciplinary action. And that also, remember, when you're working for somebody in a big corporation like that, they're going to be less hesitant to now put somebody else, another Black woman, in that position, because they feel like we all pretty much are wired the same way or run on the same cord. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not sure if you guys know, but I just want our Black women to know that have some, don't be emotionally charged where you ruin your job behind it, kill your livelihood. And also, I know as a woman, you got people that you have to provide for. Don't do that.
Facts. That's heartbreaking.
Behavior that you would stereotypically associate with Tangerine and his maggots, but look, it's the blue maggots once again.
That was despicable what she did. I'm just saying, like, that type of mentality, like you said, and you know, get out your feelings, but just that type of mentality overall, you know, that's what a lot of Black men are seeing now from certain sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, I put up a post earlier this week. She said, oh, you know, y'all Black men that voted for Trump, you know, when a white man has his knee on y'all neck, don't come to me for nothing. It was a goofy tether. You understand what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is, like, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come at us like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this, as much as you disagree, as much as you don't like to hear the terminology go around, you know, talking about tethers or whatever the case may be, they go and do some shit like that. And it's like, God damn it, you proving them right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's unfortunate, you know, because there is a contingency of people out there who are like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really, really have disdain for Black Americans, and they look down on them, and that's very unfortunate. But I really want to focus more on the brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora that are down and bring it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do have some tethers out there, but I want to focus more on the brothers and sisters that are down and bring them in. And I feel that there are probably a lot more of them. We just don't talk about them enough. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that really, really irked me, man, because it's not just the post, but the repost and the retweets. And yeah, girl, you know, these niggas, like, that's because what that lady did, that was hate. At the end of the day, you're not going to help people that are hurricane victims because they had a Trump sign in their yard. Really, that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't it. You know, because what they're equating the Trump sign to is like a Nazi symbol or something like that. And look, I don't agree with Trump on a lot of shit, but it's not the same. It's just not. You know, Trump has his, you know, his shit that I disagree with, but Trump is not out here running on a Nazi platform. That's bullshit. And when those of you that are coming out saying that are saying it, you minimize what a Nazi platform really is. You know, Hitler, people don't tell you Hitler not only killed Jews, he also killed a lot of Africans. He killed a lot of Black people as well. No one ever talks about that. But Hitler killed about 13 million people before it was all said and done. And when you just go out and, you know, because somebody says shit that you don't like and he says some off the wall shit and he passes some policies that don't pass muster with you, oh, he's Hitler. No, he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not what it is, you know. And you're not particularly developed intellectually if you just draw that correlation. You know, you're being very intellectually lazy, and that's very irresponsible journalism, if we can even call it that. And I'll park the Chevy, man. Like, today, I'm so glad that we got to really, really drill down on this election. And Stephanie Rule was the lady that I was talking about earlier. Thanks for that in the chat, Lord Cordes. Stephanie Rule is the lady who said that, you know, Kamala Harris don't have to answer questions, and Hillary Clinton backed it up. And it's like, dude, this woman is running for president, and this is how we're reacting. You know, the emotional bullshit has got to stop. We have to leave it at the door. If we're ever going to be taken seriously as a political bloc, we got 45 million votes legally. People, and that, let's just keep it a buck. It's more than that, because they wouldn't be freaking out about losing the black vote if we were really only 13% of the population like they claim. We're more than 13% of the population. You understand? They'll never tell us that because they don't want us to understand and realize our power. But I'm sure we're about 25%, 20 to 25% of the population. I'm sure of it. You understand? And we need to start acting like it. So let's hold the line. Let's continue to be politically astute and politically mature and vote our interests. You know, and that's just what it is at the end of the day. The next candidate that comes to us with some bullshit, they have to meet the same fate. These people have to know that we're serious. So I implore you, brothers and sisters, start getting ready for the next election cycle now. Hell, let's make it happen for the midterms. Let's show up at the midterms or not. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't even know if the Democrats are going to get the House. They're still counting votes. But, you know, we need to make our presence felt. The one thing that really made me really, really, really feel encouraged about this election was that people were so involved. Even the people who know what the fuck they were talking about, they were very involved.
Yeah.
And when you're involved, it creates the space where I can engage you. And even though you don't know what you're talking about, by the time you're through listening to people like us, you will. That's why I shout out Sabby Sabs. And there's another brother, Devori Darkins. That brother sharp as hell. And some other people, even Megan Kelly. Megan Kelly gave some good election coverage, man. People talk about her bad, you know, or whatever the case may be. But, yo, I learned some shit watching. I've learned, she, you know, I know she got some issues. I wouldn't put her in the same category with the other two, but as far as just giving some accurate analysis and coverage, she's pretty thorough. And I found this out a long time ago. This is the secret. If you want to find out what's really going on the right, you got to listen to the left. If you want to find out what's really going on the left, you got to listen to the right, because they dish all the dirt on the other side when you listen to your current side. You understand what I'm saying? And some of the people that I found, and when you really just want just straight knowledge, you got to find your independents, find a few good independents and really hone in on them. But I'm very impressed with how engaged everyone was in this cycle. And I want everybody to come here for your political news, to come here for your dating and relationship content, which is what we normally do, you know what I'm saying, and really, really vibe with us. We appreciate y'all locking in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll park the Chevy.
Definitely. Drake, you on the clock.
Well, did we say what we're going to do? Had a great time. This was great content. I've just been tickled ever since election day, to be honest. And like I said elsewhere, it's going to be really interesting watching the way the Democrats and their flunkies try to manage and try to do damage control going up to Inauguration Day. It's going to be very funny. And if you've heard what we've had to say, you've done the digging, the due diligence, you still don't buy what we're saying, that's okay. Keep your ears tuned to your favorite liberal Democrat stations and pundits, and you're going to hear them say a lot of things that sound, it's not going to be exactly the same, but it's going to sound very eerily similar to what you've heard come from us here on this platform and other places as well, too. Now, they're not going to come out and overtly say that Black people were the reason that the election got upended. They can't do that, because that's going to give us too much political cachet verbally. They can't acknowledge it. But the same way how when a bully's in the room and you ever seen someone that gets picked on, the bully walks in the room and they kind of just, you know, cower and kind of They try to avoid that section of the room.
Mm.
Look for that. That's going to be your signal. Look for the quiet part that's not being spoken out loud. They're going to talk about everything else. They're going to talk about the cat in the hat, the man in the moon, the dish ran away with the spoon, and everything else. But they're not going to talk about black people. They're going to give a quick little blink and you miss it type of acknowledgement because they can't give us that kind of power. But it's okay because we're not taking marching orders from them. We're not listening anymore. And that's what this has been a big story of. That's been the real big story of this whole thing. And I mentioned it before. I don't think it was on here. I mentioned it elsewhere. But the biggest fear of the establishment has not been black people turning around and voting for Tangerine. They've been talking about that. That hasn't been their big fear. Their biggest fear has been what a lot of black people have done, and that's voting for the couch, electing to not show up. Because no group has been as wronged and as violated as black people have in this country. When America goes out and tries to showcase itself as this big champion of justice and righteousness and morality, the land of the free, the home of the brave, freedom, the top country in the world, place that everyone's breaking the necks to get to. When they showcase that, a large part of that has been the illusion that things are going well for black people here. Black people are engaged. They feel fully a part of the country. They don't feel marginalized. Because even to this day, you'll see political leaders, when they want to take jabs at the U.S., they'll talk about, well, look at how you treat your black citizens over there. Look at how you're brutalizing your black people. You kill. They'll do that as a jab to show we know that y'all ain't low. Y'all talk about us having human rights violations, but we see what y'all doing over there. Y'all ain't low either. We see y'all. They'll try to downplay that. When you have black people sitting out of the political process and saying, we are not represented, we are not heard, everybody else is getting their needs met and accounted for except for us. So therefore, since y'all are already leaving us out of it, we're just going to go ahead and stop playing camouflage, y'all. When we do that, it sends a big warning sign that something is amiss. That's the canary in the coal mine. We have always been the canary in the coal mine, and we will continue to be the canary in the coal mine. They cannot have us sit out. That is the biggest fear of all time. They would rather black people vote in a landslide for Tangerine. I'm not saying what the rank and file person would like. I'm saying the political establishment. They would rather have us vote in a landslide for Tangerine than to sit home, because that says, well, at least they're still engaged. Maybe if we just spruce my message some, they'll come back to this side. But that says that we still want to be a part. But when we sit back, that says, nah, we over here, y'all over there. That means that we're not involved. That means we're not engaged. That means that we're not listening. That's a problem, because the same way how I spoke before about how the way we currently practice is as if there's a finger in our brains steering us. When we're not responding to anything, that's indicating, wait, if our finger is in their brain, whose is? And that's their biggest fear. Regardless, thank you for spending time. I know we went in depth, but this is a very important show tonight because it's covering something very important, and it's going to really set the tone and the pace for what's going to come in the years to follow, and even in the days and months as well, as we head up to Inauguration Day and then some. Thanks for rocking with us. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you like what you heard, if you didn't like what you heard, and if you're undecided, all that's cool too. Subscribe, follow us. We'll figure it out as we go along. Catch y'all next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Manversations 2020. Aunt Malcolm, The Major Gauge, Prestigious Bobby Drake. We in here.
All right. Peace out. We'll see you guys next week. Be easy, be safe. Peace.
Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manversations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage. We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.